Hello, hello, and welcome to this afternoon, late afternoon taste challenge. I was trying to set this up, and then this neighbor of mine started sending me rapid fire text. She's very notorious for that, and it's almost like a stream of consciousness. Like, what time is the game on tonight? What channel is it on? And I'm trying to respond, and then the third text, and I'm trying to respond to the first text, like, um, yes, it's at 8 o'clock. And then by the time I'm responding to the first text, there's like more coming in. So I think it's on this channel. No, that's wrong. It's on this other channel. I'm like, why are you, I want to say, well, why are you asking me about what channel it's on when you know the channel already? And the other game last night was good with the Yankees and the Dodgers. Don't you think it was good? And I was like, I hate texting. I hate when people send me a text. And it's funny because the people, I always tell them that there's certain people I tell them I hate getting a text. So they send me texts. Okay. Burley Sullivan says, you. Cheers back to you, Burley. Alex says, good afternoon, Jay. Cheers. And Burley, you. Okay. So try to calm down from a rapid fire texting barrage, which drives me nuts to no end. This product has been giving me a lot of problems, but in a good way. And what I mean is Grand Legacy Silver Caribbean Style Rum with Natural Flavors. That's a title, right? That's a name, isn't it? Grand Legacy Silver Caribbean Style Rum and Natural Flavors. I guess the name is Grand Legacy Silver, but yet there's no trademark data anywhere on here. It doesn't say it's trademark, although there is a trademark. There is trademark information. I looked it up. U.S. government says it was registered in 2006, and it was owned by a CVS pharmacy, but they gave it up. And then it was acquired by Casey's General Stores, central USA, like maybe up to Minnesota, down to almost Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, maybe coming to Louisiana. But anyway, so Casey's bought it, and now they have it as one of their brands. The whole lineup, I think the vodka, the gin, the rum, silver and gold, and so forth. I don't know why CVS exited or abandoned this trademark, but I would assume probably the sales weren't what they had hoped. And I don't know how many states they could actually sell liquor in anyway, because a lot of states don't allow liquor sales from pharmacies, but then on the other hand, or convenience stores. So it's a mystery to me. Okay. It's from Legacy Distilling Company. There's no website listing. Now, Casey's General Store did show some of the liquors they sell. Like there's a private label bourbon, but I don't know. It was confused. I couldn't really navigate their website very well. Okay, now here's Boquero Caribbean Silver Rum. This might be discontinued. I can't figure this out. Boquero, it means like anchovy. Anchovy. Well, there's a bay in Puerto Rico called Anchovy Bay, Boquero Bay. And they don't claim this is made in Puerto Rico. They say it's made in the Caribbean, and it's bottled in Texas at Wolf Ranch, at Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery. So I haven't seen this on the market in a couple of years now. It's got this synthetic rubber stopper. It's got a wooden cap. Oh, you've tried this tequila before? Yeah. Well, this is a rum, so that's going to be a problem since I'm doing rum and you tried a tequila, but 88 out of 100. Okay. So it's got this hemp rope tied tightly around the neck. It's got an unusual bottle design. I saw this at Rouse's stores, and they had the silver for $6.99 and the gold for $7.99, or vice versa. I can't remember exactly, but I know one was $6.99 and one was $7.99, and I thought that was an unusually low price for a full-size bottle of rum, which is an unusually low price. But I thought, let me buy it. I did research on it. There was a website for it. And they had it listed on the Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery. And then I checked about a year ago. It was no longer a website. And the listing on the ranch, because there's a website for the main company, the Iron Wolf, there was nothing on there for that. I know my hair looks crazy, right? I washed it, though. It's clean. Just my hair tends to be wild, kind of straw. It's not really that manageable, but I have hair, which is a benefit because some people don't have. I can put, like, the gel in it and it'll go back. Yeah, I could do that. Or hairspray, I guess. Do they still make hairspray? Yes, I guess they do. Okay, but so I'll show you the distributing or the importer company's website. So I guess that's still semi-official. So let's look at this. So Mexcor of Houston, Texas, they're still showing this. They're in it like it's in production. So that does mean something. Boquero and coconut, gold, silver, and spice. Well, I've seen the spice and the coconut. I've seen them both, but I didn't buy them. I bought the gold and the silver. So let's click on the silver. It's saying the brilliant blue water and white sands of Boquero Bay host a laid-back beach lifestyle, while the famous barrio in town delivers a vibrant night featuring rustic clubs, restaurants, and bars. This beautiful area in San Juan, Puerto Rico, which I went to San Juan earlier this year, and I don't remember Boquero Bay, but I wasn't thinking about it either at the time, so I might have overlooked it. This beautiful area in San Juan, along with infamous local pirate named Roberto Confresi, are the inspiration for our award-winning Boquero rums and the unique Caribbean lifestyle they embody. About the brand name, but the information. So I don't know, man. It says find a retailer, and then it takes you back to this site. So it could have been that it was discontinued and they never bothered taking it off their website. They're only showing these rums. That's a little bit peculiar. Let's see what happened. There's all kind of rums they make. I don't know. I'll worry about this website later. I'm not sure it's too updated. No use getting stressed out over that. Still nice to have hair in our 50s, yes. I know people that were losing their hair in their 20s and were going gray in their teens. I knew a guy that was almost totally gray in high school. A couple of people. Don't know why. Maybe somebody texted him all the time, sending him rapid fire text. But that was in the 80s, and I don't think they were sending text back then. All right. Is this thing going to focus? Okay. So I was saying that Grand Legacy was causing me trouble because I was having problems telling it apart from other rums. I couldn't tell it apart from other rums. That's actually a reverse outcome. It's not really causing me trouble. That's really speaking well for it. Right? Like, so it's an inexpensive private label brand, yet it's very difficult to tell it apart from much higher grade price point rums. And I'm doing it fair. I'm doing it blind. You see, I got them poured. I I got tags below. Trying to take my time, not rush through it, and giving it a real deep assessment. Can't tell them apart. So that's telling me that Grand Legacy is a lot better than you would think it would be. Because you think, oh, it's going to be awful. Pharmacy private label, pharmacy chain private label. That's going to be the worst. Or now convenience store. But hey, it's not. So far, not so far. So like you're saying, it is nice to have your hair in your 50s, but I'm not obsessed with that or concerned about it. I'm telling you, that's the truth. If my hair fell out and I went bald, I would not worry about that. I bet you I wouldn't worry about that for 10 minutes or even 5. You say, well, that's easier for you to say because you still got your hair. Yeah, that's true. But I don't worry about it. It's turning gray. Oh, well, time marches on. But some people, so if you want to say they're vain or self-conscious, or they putting that dye in their hair, they're like 60 years old, their hair is jet black. And I'm like, yeah, but that's real. But that's a real color. And they going around, like at the ball game or the store, and they're thinking, nobody knows my hair is really gray. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows it's gray, but you draw an attention to it. Like everybody knows an old man like you does not have no jet black hair. So it's like screaming out to everybody, I'm old and I can't deal with it. That's my impression of it. And I don't think that's the impression, but they're trying to make me like, yeah, the women are looking at me. Maybe might be looking at your bank account status, but I don't think they're looking at you. Okay, but anyway, just to me, I can't get over that. It always cracks me up. And women do that too. They dye their hair kind of colors when they're older. Some of them when they're younger, it looks terrible. They got their hair dyed like a freezy pop, blue like a freezy pop. That like fluorescent blue. And I'm thinking to myself, this is supposed to attract people. Maybe it's meant to repel people as a repellent because it certainly works for me. But okay, but this one smells a little bit like that strawberry shortcake, which I encountered with the Caliber, the bizarre, the very bizarre yet enjoyable Caliber Caribbean rum. Now Caribbean style rum, they changed it. So yeah, I haven't bought the new updated Caliber and it ain't gonna. Yeah, but it's mostly just sugar cane, but a little bit of that strawberry shortcake, which is a bizarre aroma, I have to say. Okay, here, this one is different because I'm picking up fermentation. Fermentation, but not so much sugar cane in particular, just a fermented substance. Nice aroma. Taste time. Now, I don't know though. I got a weird feeling that this is discontinued because it went from every Rouse is having it to none of them. Of course, on the other hand, they might have just decided that it wasn't that big of a, like a real good seller for them, and they cut it. They might have made a deal with this Mexico in Houston, and then they were like, we know y'all made us a good deal in 2020 or whatever, but we're going to drop it. And they might have been like, okay, but then why would Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery drop it from their website? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. I shouldn't be even thinking about it. It was on the shelf. I bought it. It's obscure. If it's gone, it's no big deal. Oh, I'm definitely picking up. This is so strange. Oh, so very strange. I'm picking up that strawberry shortcake. It's not as glaring or pronounced as the Caliber, but it is there, which has got me thrown off a little bit. Let's go over here. Okay, standard rum, the grass from the stalks, the sugarcane stalks. Now, how that comes through to the final production, this I cannot explain, because you would think that's sugarcane stalks, that's grass, it's growing in the field. It's got nothing to do with the final distillation. Why do you keep mentioning that? I don't know, but it's in the flavor. Okay. So there is some carryover with that grassiness. But that's making me think Grand Legacy, because I noticed that Grand Legacy had a very, not did, but does presently have a very standardized white rum flavor. And it's just there. It tastes like just like what you would generally think of with clear silver or white rum. This one, a little bit off track, but in a good way. In some ways, it's not. Yeah, it's not bad. There's an enjoyable aspect to it. I do like strawberry shortcake. Not that I ever eat it, but yeah, I like it. Type of thing. I guess I would compare it to Caliber, which is another rum nobody ever heard of. Well, of course, except for the few million people who buy it every week. But I'm gonna say this is Boquero. I would buy it again in a theoretical sense. I definitely would recommend it if you can. If you're willing to tolerate a bit of an unusual flavor, but I would say unusual but yet pleasant. Oh boy, I hope it has the right code underneath. It does. I got it. Don't ever doubt me, except for the times when I get it wrong, which so far in this challenge has been about half the time. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, Boquero. It seemed like it changed, though. Like, I don't remember this flavor in the first, the top 60% of it. No. Let's see, 25, 50. Yeah, okay. 65% of it. I guess if these things breathe enough, they do change. I'm not a scientist. I do like the map of the Caribbean islands on the background of this label. Same as Castillo rum. If you get Castillo rum, it has a similar label with the map of the Caribbean islands. Most of the write-up on the back is about a pirate, not about the product. It just says distilled from sugarcane. Makes sense. Bottled by Boquero Rum in Dallas, Texas. Well, it's Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery is what it is. Grand Legacy. I'm very impressed with Grand Legacy. I really thought I would not be impressed. In fact, I was kind of skipping over it the last few years, going to other rums like, well, I'll get to it. I knew I'd eventually get to it. But this thing has really performed so well, and I'm doubly happy because it's still in production. I thought now I'm do videos for something that nobody can find, but from what I can gather, and I think it's correct, you can get it at Casey's General Store, but that may not be applicable unless you live a couple of states east or west of the Mississippi River, up and down the river, Minnesota down to Louisiana, I'm saying. So, but you can look at Casey's website, CASEY''S, and they show where their store, they have a nice map and they show where the stores are located. So it's there. I seriously doubt any viewer is going to be trying to track this down. I do have some grasp on reality. I don't think that would happen. Some of them might live down the street from Casey's and say, I'll walk over there tomorrow morning and see if they got it at 10:30 in the morning. And they might say, hey, yeah, I found it. Now, in a couple of years, well, let's say next year. Next year, I'll probably bring in the gold. I mean, I'm doing the silver. So next year, when I get back to rum again, I guess it would make sense to do the silver. I mean, the gold, right? I bought them both at the same place. So with that, you did a good job, Sazerac. I'm gonna give you credit right about now because this thing has really shocked me. Now, what are the natural flavors? This I do not know. I do, although I strongly vanilla would be the lead flavor. Um, Pretty obvious that they added the flavoring to make it taste better. They didn't add the flavoring to make it taste worse, and that was an expense to get the flavoring in there. Still was only $10.99 at the time of purchase, of course, with this big bottle. So I had an interesting experience at work today. Somebody said to me he's got this new girlfriend, and he was giving me all kind of details about this past weekend that I was not interested in hearing about. I said, I'm not interested in hearing about this. I don't care about this. I don't want to hear about it. But beyond that, he says, well, in the evening after work, she likes to drink cocktail with ice cream. Now, this is like vanilla ice cream and some kind of trying to think. I think vanilla ice cream, like some chocolate syrup, something else he was saying, like a cream, like whipped cream or whipping cream, and then some vodka. I don't care what kind of cocktails people make. It sounds good to me though, in a way. He said, but she'll like take that. Yeah, it's like ice cream and then the chocolate syrup and like some other cream on it or something, and then vodka. He said and she'll like make like a little cup of it, like a glass, and then she'll like get a spoon and eat it, drink it while watching television. And I said, okay, sounds reasonable. But he was saying, I'm going to buy her a bottle of vodka. So he was asking about a certain store. What do you think is the cheapest fifth that they've got? I said, I don't know, although I have an idea. And then I said, well, you'll get a better price per ounce if you buy the handle. I was explaining that to him, and he's like, yeah, I get it. I know. You get more for your money by the handle. So I told him about a brand called Dobra, 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 which I believe goes back to the 1950s or 60s, made by Buffalo Trace Sazerac. So I said they usually do pretty good work because I had found some other ones that were a little bit cheaper, but they had the natural flavor added. I said those got flavoring added. He was like, oh, I don't know about that. He wanted to get her just vodka. He was saying, what about Taka? I said, well, Taka popular around here. I said, but Dobra is from the same company, and I always see it in stock, so obviously somebody's buying it. He said, okay. So I was thinking it was $11.99 for the handle, but it's actually $12.99. But I'll have to ask him next time I see him. Well, what did the girl Carrie think of the vodka? Because if it's just a neutral spirit, it should be fine in a little ice cream cocktail. Although some people say that the key to that riddle is that some will give you a bad headache and others won't. I don't know about that because I don't drink enough vodka to know. I do those little mix-up videos once a week, but for me, what kind of headache you're going to get from 3 ounces of vodka or less. Tommy Carroll says, cheers, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. When you were teaching, find it more rewarding or frustrating? It was both. It was rewarding because I got paid. That's a reward. You get a paycheck, get cheap insurance, retirement, but not just that. You're helping people learn. You're trying to give them good information. And you got to remember, 90% of the people taking the class, they care nothing about history. They're just taking it because they're forced to take it. The state government, every state, so you got to take American history and world history. Okay, so they take it. And like I would tell them at the beginning of the year, I'd say, look, you don't have to like this class. Only thing you got to do is pass it. The state of Louisiana says you have to pass the class to graduate. So let's work a lot. Let's work about this. Let's work around this along those lines. I said, now if you do like it, that's an extra benefit, but you don't have to like it. You just got to pass it. So they would think, yeah, it makes sense, you know. But it was frustrating because it was all kind of like bureaucratic stuff that would get in your way. They were like definitely stand in your way of doing the good job. And our principal was chatty. She wanted to come on the intercom every 10 minutes. Students, and make these incessant announcements. I was talking earlier in the video about this lady who texts me incessantly. So I was like, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to teach the class, and you interrupting me all the time. So I was like, I got to get out of this, you know. And so I did retire early. So it's like, you know, it's a headache. But so as your answer, I guess it was pretty frustrating, you know. Okay, but overall, you know, I don't regret it. What spirit do you think mixes with root beer the best? Says Burley. What spirit mixes with root beer the best? I guess vodka is the best mixer with anything because it's neutral, right? It's supposed to be neutral. They're not really neutral, but they're supposed to be no aroma, no flavor, optimally, not in reality, but probably the most neutral of any product. So any, you know, liquor product. Yeah, I guess vodka. There's obviously a reason people are putting vodka in the drink. Now, it's not all just, oh, they want to get drunk. And I don't believe that. It's just it's a social, like a heritage thing that people come home from work and they want to have a cocktail. Now, having one cocktail every day after work, that's not excessive. Anyone who's would say that is strange. But now, if you're having 3 and 4, well, okay, that's pushing it. That's asking for it. You know, asking for trouble. Like I always say in my videos, generally less is more. You usually get more out of less than you get out of more. So if you're drinking less beer, it's going to be better in the long run. If you're drinking less liquor, less wine. I had people give me a hard time and say, you don't like to have fun. Everything with you is about doing the review. You want to talk about the product. You don't want to let loose and have a great time. You don't want to have, you don't ever want to party or whatever their expression is. I say, well, that's exactly correct. I say, and that's based on the fact that I don't care anything about all of that. I mean, if you want to do it, I always tell them, if that's what you want to do, go do it. I don't care, especially since I'm not paying for it and it's not interfering with what I'm trying to do. But don't sit there and lecture to me what I got to do. You need to drink more. You need to let loose and all this other, whatever you want to call it, rhetoric. I say, okay, no thanks, bye, not doing it. But yes, I think vodka would be a very good. Why is vodka the best-selling whiskey? Best-selling whiskey. Why is vodka the best-selling liquor in America or the world, probably? Because vodka is so versatile, and you got your 40% alcohol base. Do I think whiskey, Scotch, Canadian, American makes good cocktails? Oh yes, I'm sure it does. What about rum? Oh, well, everybody knows that. Tequila. We all know about tequila cocktails. They're very popular. Brandy. Well, yes, it does have a following in that. Well, they all do. So it's, yeah. But the best, I guess, vodka is the most versatile. So anyway, the winner here is. I think I might give a slight advantage to Grand Legacy because it's a little bit more standardized in the flavor, but I wouldn't give a great advantage to it. I was able to tell them, but Would I recommend both? Yes, I would. I think they're both scoring around the B range. Well, yeah, somewhere in the B range. Good to very good. I wouldn't go lower than I wouldn't go to B minus. I would not go to B minus. I don't think B minus is fair. I don't think they're just like sort of good. I think they're like legitimately good. And you might find that laughable, but I don't believe it's a joke. And I think they're really quality products. I say quality, like a B, good, not fantastic or amazing. But we probably knew that going in. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to bring in a rum, and I have a bunch left. I have so many rums left. You probably get so sick of looking at these rum taste challenges, but I do have a lot of them available, and I think they'll make good challenges. So that's it. Okay. Oh, Joe Hill says my cousin was gifted a couple of unopened Canadian Club bottle and bond bottles from the mid 1970s. Would you guess the flavor held up or dissipated? Held up or dissipated? Bottle and bond. I'm gonna say held up, but I've never had an aged Canadian whiskey except for Seagram's Canadian Hunter, which we found old bottles that said Seagram's Canadian Hunter, which means most likely they were made before the Sazerac buyout in 1989, and those were good. I'm going to say held up. So what's the answer? Held up? The flavor held up? All right, well, I'm going to go watch baseball, so y'all take care. And the winner is by a very slight margin. Oh, he hasn't opened them yet. Oh, I thought you were giving me a riddle and you were going to give me the answer. So just remember this. I'm sorry, not hear this. Remember this. My uh, bet is that it held up. But then how do you base that on anything? Because like you weren't drinking it in 1970, right? So how do you really know if it held up? Because were you drinking this? Was your cousin drinking this in 1972? And can compare and contrast. So that's something to think about also. All right. So anyway, y'all take care and see y'all soon. Bye bye.